Welcome to JMESPath, Tame AZ JSON Output. If you've ever stared at a wall of Azure CLI response and wanted to grab just the one field you need, this is your fix. Over the next panels, you'll learn how a compact query language turns chaos into exactly the shape you want. JMESPath is a JSON query language, SQL for JSON. Azure CLI adopted it as the default engine for the query flag because it is declarative, meaning you declare what you want rather than how to compute it. It runs server-side at the Azure response layer, so only the data you asked for travels back over the wire, and it executes far faster than shelling out to JQ for the same answer. Every JMESPath expression reads the current JSON node, which we call at. A dot steps into a child field, brackets iterate a list as a projection, the filter selects only nodes that match a predicate, and built-in functions like length, and sort underscore by, count or reorder results. Memorize these 4 building blocks, and you can express almost any extraction. 5 expressions carry 90% of your daily work. First, name projects a single field. Second, .name projects that field across an entire list. Third, location equals eastus, filters the list to only East US resources. Fourth, length at, counts how many nodes are in the current selection. Fifth, sort underscore by, at end name, returns the list sorted by a chosen field. Pin these to your monitor. The query flag pairs with output to choose how the result is rendered. JSON is the default and gives you the full structured response. TSV strips quotes and headers for clean piping into zargs. Table produces a human-readable grid, but only works when query produces projection objects like name, or arrays of strings and numbers, and YAML delivers a friendly nested format. Pick the output that matches where the data is going next. Choose your tool by complexity. Query is your first move for simple field picking, filtering, counting, and sorting. It does the job before any data leaves Azure. Output TSV shines when you need to pipe names into other AZ commands, such as zargs, L1AZVM delete, and gmygroup, because it produces unquoted headerless rows. Reach for JQ only when JMESPath cannot express what you need. Multi-step pipelines, regex transformations, or custom reshaping that demands a full programming language. The mental model is simple. Think of JMESPath as a lens you slide over the JSON to extract exactly the shape you want before it ever reaches your terminal. Azure shapes the response. Your script gets a tidy answer, and you stop scrolling through megabytes of bracket noise. Learn these 5 expressions, pair them with the right output, and you control your Azure data instead of drowning in it. Azure CLI returns everything as JSON by default, which is rarely what you actually want. The query flag accepts JMESPath expressions that let you project, filter, count, and sort before anything ever hits your screen. 6 patterns cover 90% of day-to-day scripting needs. Pattern 1 is the scalar projection. Pull a single field out of a nested object. The command AZ account show query name, OTSV asks for the name property of the currently active subscription, and emits it as a tab-separated value. Perfect for piping into a variable or another command. Pattern 2 is the list projection. The expression, .name, walks every element of an array and extracts its name field, producing a JSON array of strings. Running AZVM list, query, .name, returns a clean list like web server 01, DB server 02, cache node 03. Pattern 3 combines projection with TSV piping. Adding, OTSV strips the JSON syntax and feeds a tab-delimited stream into head, giving you a quick sanity check on large result sets without parsing JSON downstream. This is the workhorse pattern for shell scripts. Pattern 4 introduces filtering with the question mark operator. The expression, location equals eastus.name, keeps only the VMs whose location property equals eastus, then projects their names. You can chain any Boolean comparison, equals not equals greater than inside the brackets. Pattern 5 is the length counting function. Wrapping the entire input with length at, returns the count of items in the array. A fast way to answer, how many VMs do I have right now? Without JQ and without piping through WC. The output here is a single integer 4. Pattern 6 is sort underscore by chaining. The expression sort underscore by, at end name. .name sorts the entire array by the name field and then projects the sorted names, alphabetical order, ready for diff-friendly output or human review. The and denotes a sort key reference. Memorize these 5 expressions and you can solve almost any output shaping problem. Name for a scalar. Field for a list. OTSV for piping. Prop equals value. Field for filtering. And sort underscore by, at end field, for ordering. Combined with length at, for counts, these 6 patterns replace most ad hoc JQ pipelines. JMESPath is the JSON query language baked into the AWS CLI, Azure CLI, and dozens of other tools, and 5 expressions cover almost every shell pipeline you will ever write. Expression number 1 is just the field name itself, like name or ID. It is a simple projection that dives into a top-level key and returns the raw scalar value. Nothing more, nothing less. Expression number 2 is .name, a list projection. Wrap a field in brackets and a dot, and JMESPath walks every element of the array and pulls that field from each one, returning a flat list of values. Expression number 3 is the filter, written as property equals value. It works like a SQL where clause. It keeps only the array elements where the comparison is true and discards the rest. Expression number 4 is the built-in function length @ where the @ symbol means the current document. It counts elements in an array or characters in a string, returning a number you can drop straight into a shell variable. Expression number 5 is sort_by @AmField, which takes the current document, sorts the array by the named field, and projects that field. It is the shortcut you reach for whenever you need the top or bottom item, like the cheapest spot price or the newest timestamp. The cheat rule is this: before you reach for JQ, ask yourself whether query can do the job. Pair it with OTSV for clean shell pipes, and save JQ for the transforms JMESPath truly cannot express.